All right, 6 o'clock, you ready to go? Okay. Make sure you've got a microphone right in front of you, if you would, please. How's Wayne?
Much better than I was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, boy.
Same. Same, buddy, same. You go ahead, I have a lag here, go ahead.
Okay, all right. I'll call the December 12th, 2022 Weare Board of Firewards meeting to order. We're going to be moving along here. Chief Retches isn't with us tonight, so probably be a brief meeting. I have no correspondence except, well, actually, this is a good spot.
Actually, can I take a minute to speak, please?
Sure.
Okay. At the beginning of the last meeting, Chairman Roberts read the memorandum from the town council regarding recusing from certain aspects of the job here on the Board of Firewards. So I just wanted to start this meeting with my own statement in reference to that memorandum that Chairman Roberts received from our town council. First, let me be very clear that I will not be recusing myself from any discussion or voting on the policy regarding the filling of empty shifts for the Weare Fire Department. The people of Weare elected me as one of 3 Weare Board of Firewards members who is a member of the Weare Fire and Rescue Department in order to represent the people's interests. As the attorney who Mr. Roberts spoke to stated, and I quote, "As for whether there is actually a legal conflict of interest, there is nothing in the statute or case law of which I'm aware that speaks to this situation." She goes on to elaborate, instead, the case law and statutes speak to conflicts when a board is acting in a quasi-judicial capacity, acting on an application, for example, rather than on administrative capacity, such as setting a policy. I believe that all the policies set by the Board of Firewards have an impact on the department members. It's the very reason the board has 3 fire department members who sit on it. These positions bring a different perspective to the discussions about policies than those of the non-members, and therefore it makes for a more well-rounded discussion to the issues at hand. I also believe that it's incumbent upon me as an elected member of the board to represent the townspeople by participating in discussions and voting. And I feel it's unacceptable for any other member of the Board of Firewards to request that I or any other member of the board renege on that duty. Our state legislature is made up of 400 state representatives from all walks of life and various occupations, including firefighters, EMT, paramedics, and teachers. They are able to bring forth legislation, speak to it, vote on it, even if the outcome of the vote may benefit them. An example would be any legislation pertinent to the state retirement system. In fact, they must vote when a vote is called for. If they do not want to vote, they must leave the room at the time the vote is taken. My reasons for being both on the fire department and the Board of Firewards are absolutely not to further my own interests, but to the contrary, they are to make sure we provide the townspeople with the very best professional and well-trained personnel possible. If they or someone they love is sick or injured, they can be confident that they're getting the best possible care given during their most stressful moments. Therefore, let me reiterate what I stated earlier. I will not recuse myself from any discussion or voting on the policy regarding the filling of empty shifts for the Weare Fire Department or any other future policy decisions. I just wanted to get that out on the record. And we can move forward.
So I just want to make a comment on that you were correct in what she said about the judicial versus the legislative type body, that there's not a statute, but it's been well recognized, and as long as I've been in public, going to town meetings, et cetera, being on committees and things, it's at least ethical that you not even show or participate in something that you could be biased in or would benefit you. And so recently, we had the discussion, actually, I think it was the last 3 regular meetings it's been brought up about shift coverage, at least twice by you. And you talked about being able to work shifts, and you never brought up the fact that you were already working shifts as a call person. And so I just think that that's, you know, that particular issue, I think, is one to be taken very seriously.
I do take it very seriously.
So-
I'm taking my position here on the board very seriously. I was elected to represent the people of this town. And first of all, the shifts that I was taking at the fire department were not covering a shift that was left open. This was a different policy, had nothing to do with that. Second of all, whether I work or don't work is not the point. The point is, by being able to hire and fill those staff positions, we can avoid having to pay serious amounts of overtime, which I think is very beneficial to our town. It also affords the ability for people to gain experience, and I can go on to talk about this ad nauseum, but if you have a provider who shows up at a call who hasn't participated or done a skill in 3 or 4 or 5 months, and then are expected to do it on the call, that's just unacceptable. That is not providing the town with the best possible care. That's asking somebody to start a 12-lead EKG who's forgotten how to do it, or to start an IV on somebody who's lying there in the back of the ambulance. I don't feel that it is at all unethical. I think it's, in fact, I'm a little offended by being called unethical. So I just want you to know that my viewpoint is that it is not something that I will be recusing myself from. I think my perspective and my viewpoint is part of why is the reason that I'm on the board. And it is the reason that we have fire department members on the board. There's nothing that we decide here that doesn't affect the employees and the members on the fire department one way or another. And to say I benefit, I don't know that that's a benefit or not. It's just an opportunity. And it's an opportunity for anybody, not just me. I don't know why we're making this all about me. I happen to be the one bringing it up, but it's not just about me. It's about other department members who might be available to fill those shifts.
So you talked about the ability to come in and train, et cetera. I let you talk. Thank you. There's a lot of people that do that, and they don't get paid for it. People go to college, people take classes to better themselves and their skills. So, and I'm not asking anybody to do that, but that's the way that a lot of people do it, and they don't ask for money while they're doing that. So that's not the only way for that to happen. And we've also had discussions at this board recently on what we need for a fire chief, and you have been one of the leaders of the taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for a full-time chief. And I mentioned that one of the benefits of having a full-time chief is having that third person available during the week when help is short, to be able to be a third person. And it was stated that the taxpayers didn't want to pay for that, and so we shouldn't do it. But then we're adding a third person on, an extra third person on weekends for a shift now. And so what's the, no, it's really not, because it was said that we shouldn't be spending money that we don't have to, basically. And so I think it is part of the discussion. And also, it was stated in a previous meeting that it appeared that I wanted to just blow through the money. And that's not true. But, you know, it could be said that that's spending money as well. So, you know, That's my opinion, is that if you have something that's going to benefit you, then you should recuse yourself from the discussion. And that's also was the attorney's position. Does anybody else have anything to say on that?
Well, I'm inclined to agree that if I have an opinion, I'm going to offer it. Certainly, I'm not going to vote to give myself a pay raise, but as a board member, I think it is prudent that I offer my opinion to anything that affects the department and the town.
I agree with Wayne on that. I mean, what's the point of having members from the department on the board if they're not allowed to vote? Because technically anything can influence them one way or another, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's so-so. There's a reason why the board was structured with members.
And what was the makeup of the department back in the 78 era?
Well, we're still going on. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't even born yet, so I couldn't tell you.
It was quite different from what it is today, and I'm quite sure that the pay was a lot different from what it is today.
Well, I'm sure, but
So,
this is the board that we have continued to keep and adopting and keep going with. You know what I mean? So we kind of got to roll with what we're going with, right? Unless
I agree. I think if the
Unless
board
there's
is what it
another,
is.
unless it was that you think that the town itself has outgrown this board and it should be handled by the selectmen or I think that the only other option is selectmen, right?
What's that?
If this board were not to be a board anymore, it would be handled by the selectmen, correct?
You'd have to disband.
Disband, and then it would be taken over by the
not
selectmen.
necessarily. You could amend the makeup of the board, that there's boards that say that you can't be on the department and be on the board. There's a lot of boards have been dissolved because of this issue in today's world. But that would be up to the townspeople to vote for that.
There's only one other town that does this.
Oh, really? Who's
There's
New
only one
Boston?
other town that has a board of engineers, and that's Guilford. And none of their board of engineers are members of the department. It's a strictly board with no employees involved.
Yep. Goffstown had a board, a 5-member board, and it was, the selectmen put forth a warrant article saying that you couldn't be on the department and be on the board. 4 of the 5 were members of the department, and so it passed, and so they had to either to stay on the board and get off the department, or stay on the department and get off the board. And then the next year, because there was vacancies on the board, they dissolved it.
Well,
So
I guess that's a discussion for later on, but right now we're in the moment and we're dealing with this currently. And we have to kind of go with how the rest of the board has been going since the 80s and stuff. And we gotta continue on that path of how we, I guess,
Yep.
how we were going, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And-
I also represent the people that elected me to serve too. And
Absolutely.
I
As
have,
do I.
and I have done that and continue to do it, and that's why I'm bringing this up, is that it is, in my opinion, a problem, especially the circumstances of this issue.
So,
So I'm outnumbered apparently, so we'll move forward.
outnumbered,
Well,
gonna vote on something?
well,
Like,
you have expressed that you don't agree with my opinion on this. So has Wayne, and so has Louisa, and that's who we have for board tonight, so.
Well, I just don't know. I was just playing devil's advocate on both sides, so I don't know if this is something that we gotta, I don't know. I don't know where to go from here.
I don't believe there's anywhere to go. I don't think this is something that we can vote on. It's not a
No.
statute. You point to the statute that says that there's a conflict of interest and this is not acceptable behavior, then that's fine, but there is no statute. I don't believe there's anything to vote on. We've all made our opinions very clear, and my opinion is
No,
what it is, and I won't recuse myself.
I disagree with you.
And there you go. And I think that's where we have to leave it.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other correspondence? We have, what I have is Bruce Fillmore sent over the rental policy, that's for you, asked me to distribute it to the board. It's something that they're gonna present to town meeting, apparently. They don't need any action from us, but he wanted us to have a copy of it, of what their proposal is.
Okay.
All
So,
right?
question on this, I know you might not
Don't
have the
really-
answers,
I
but,
I haven't even had time to read it, honestly.
no, is there other aspects to this policy, or is it just pretty much the fire chief's gonna be in charge of enforcing all this?
I don't quite know yet.
Okay. Because I think that putting the fire chief in
I think you
Unless-
should take the time to read it.
Yeah.
There will be a public hearing at the selectmen level before it goes on the ballot. That's what your question is. All we do
So
is-
I was just,
Okay,
I just,
didn't know, it says like the enforcing authority, it would be the town of Weare fire chief, and
And/or designate.
Is this in response to all of the Airbnbs and things that are happening in town? Understand.
okay.
so I'm sorry,
No, I
He
just didn't
sent
know
it
if
to
you
me.
knew
I,
answers.
no, I don't. I had a pretty significant eye injury about a week ago,
Yeah, I know,
and
I understand that.
I've got a lot of family health issues going on, and so I just didn't even have time.
Yeah, no, you're fine, I just didn't know if you had the quick answer, yes, no.
All right, so you got that. If there's nothing else on the correspondence, we'll move on to old business. I also have this from Chief Richards. We had talked about the negligence ordinance fees, and so he came up with this. And again, I'm just distributing it out.
I think he gave this out last time, too.
Oh, he did? Okay, I thought,
I think I have one.
okay.
Thank you.
And this is to raise them? Or is this what they would be?
I believe that it's aligning them to wherever they need to be, probably increase. I can't see them decreasing.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just didn't know if this
So-
was like what they were and then he's gonna increase them, or this is?
No, this is what
No,
he
this is what
suggested.
he's proposing. That's
Okay.
what he's proposing. I don't know what the existing one is at this time. So, under old business, we have the shift coverage, and I believe that we should table that for now. And, I'd like to see more members of the board here, but I don't want to be making that decision. So, I guess I can make a motion to table that
I will second it.
until we have a more complete board. We have a second. Is there any questions or discussion? Okay, then we'll do that.
So you take a vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? None. Abstains? None. Okay. All right. Do we have anything for new business?
The job was posted, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
and then,
It's not on the academy website yet.
I don't have access to the academy.
Okay.
Somebody would have to give me access. I can send it to somebody.
Okay. Well, the admin job got posted there. I don't know who posted
I
it.
posted the municipal Municipal Association, I posted both there and here, but I don't have access to the academy.
Okay, I don't know who posted the admin job there.
If somebody can provide it, an email, I'll try it.
I can find that out for you.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything else under new business?
I don't know if it's new business or old business, but pertaining to the chief's job, we had talked about trying to come up with suggested members of a panel that would be sifting through resumes, doing the first, the final, beginning, and doing some interviews. I know, Killian, you had mentioned that you would look into names, but if nobody else has any ideas, I do. I have
Well,
suggested members, so I can
Okay.
hand them out, and we can take a look at them. They're totally open for discussion. I have no,
Okay, we voted at a previous meeting to, that I would do a panel similar to what we did before for the fire chief.
Oh, I
I've
thought
already
we were-
contacted some folks about that.
I thought that we were going to discuss who was going to be on the panel. I didn't think we were just leaving it to one person. Because I know Killian did say that he was interested in coming up with some ideas. And I just have these ideas. A few of my suggestions are Weare residents, which I think is very important, to have a person who's a resident of Weare. I also feel as though, this group is sort of a wide variety that ranges from chiefs to people who are on the state fire marshal's office. And some are residents or the chief of fire departments that are very similar to ours in neighboring communities. So this is just a few of the suggestions that I have. I don't know if they match up to what you had thought, but
Well, I've already talked to some of the people on this list, but one of the things that is important in a process like this is trying to go outside of your area, if possible. We live in a small state. It's possible that somebody may know somebody, but if you go outside a little bit of your area, then you're more likely to get people that aren't,
well, do you have
have
the
real
people
good
who you,
knowledge.
do you have the people that you've chosen?
I haven't chosen anybody yet. I was kind of waiting to see what we get for applicants for the first round and then go from there.
So is
How,
there,
like-
is there room for discussion about the panel, or or is there no room for discussion? I mean,
Sure.
anybody else would want to have some
Sure.
input?
I've done quite a bit of hours and quite a bit of work on this because I thought that that's what the board wanted me to do.
Yeah, so
What's that?
I did too, actually.
So, I've already got kind of the wheels in motion to have the first round of people to do the review of the resume package.
Can we have those
Do you
names?
have those names? Or is it a secret?
I've talked to the fire marshal, I've talked to the Goffstown chief about some folks. I've considered departments such as Guilford is a lot like Weare, and that's kind of out of the area. Haven't contacted them yet because I was, again, wait until it's close, so we kind of know when, et cetera. So we're, and not the Goffstown chief would be on it, but that he knows people as well. So I'm trying to get a pool of people together that we could draw from. So, and it also kind of depends on, it also is good to wait and see who we get for applicants and where they're from, et cetera. So that may drive it too, as to what department they're on, as to do we want somebody from that department. So I don't know what to say. I'm,
Well, that's fair. I think these are all good options, dependent on, like you say, if somebody from Hooksett is applying, we probably don't want the Hooksett chief. But
Right, well, I didn't think you needed 10 people either.
No.
This was just a pool of my own that I came up with. I do feel strongly about the folks who actually live in town, that as a resident of Weare, you have, again, that perspective of what you're looking for in a fire chief when you are also a fire professional.
Well, it's not just a fire professional, but this is the top level of the department, so they should be qualified to make those
Right,
decisions.
which one's an assistant fire chief, one's a captain and hazmat captain, and one is a fire chief. So I don't feel like they're not qualified to. I'm sure they've all had plenty of years in the service and have been through a lot of fire departments. And again, I think that, personally, I think that having somebody, one or two people on this board that are local, because they represent the interests of the town, they know what we have for call volume, they know what we do, they know who is on the staff. They're connected, and I just think that that's an important.
Well, that kind of flies in the
Insight.
face of trying to go outside the area.
Well, not everybody.
But, so that is what you try to do. I think that whoever we select for the panel would have the interests of Weare at heart, and we would certainly tell them the things that they need to know as far as our department operations, et cetera.
So how do you see this panel being chosen in the future? Okay, so we wait until we have the applications, and is it going to be a discussion?
Does this all have to get approved by the board?
It seems like it should.
I think
Okay, then I'm out. You guys go ahead and do what you gotta do. I was given the marching orders from this board to go ahead and set that up. And Naomi and I served on the board when we hired Vizina. And we put a lot of work into that, and I was willing to put in the work, but, I can't do it if my hands are gonna be tied to,
To
it's gonna be very difficult
To-
logistically.
be a little flexible on who's on the board, that's not,
doesn't
I
feel
don't
like
see
that's
that as tying your hands. We all have ideas of what the board should be made up of, and, it may not be exactly what you think the entire board should be made up of, but that's why I could have some folks from out of town, some folks from in town, that's compromise
end of the
and
day,
a little balance.
I guess it does matter, but at the end of the day, all the the top 3 or top 5 usually sent to the board, and then we go through those applicants, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, get to applicants first.
Yeah, that's why,
Yeah.
we don't know what we're gonna get yet. So,
Still a few weeks away.
so the first portion would be to select, and I'm not, Naomi and I sat on the board before, I'm not gonna participate in it. I've decided that it's better for me to not participate in it.
Sure.
So,
I'm sure some of these people are, will have good insight, and maybe they'll be, if we get somebody from Nashua, we're gonna say, okay, we're not gonna contact Glenn Telgen,
So then why don't we table
just a
and
good option. I mean,
Get
good
a
list of
list.
options.
just get a list of options and ask people if they would be on it? And then once we
Yeah.
get the applicants, go through and be like, okay, well, if a Manchester guy's on it, okay, we can't have Mr. Lamoth, we can't have, someone from Nashua is applying, you know what I mean? You think, is that the fair way to, does that make everybody?
I'll just step out, okay? Because,
I'm
like I said,
asking,
I got a lot of things going on. I've already put a lot of hours into this based on the marching orders that this board gave me.
I don't recall giving you marching orders. I
It's
mean,
in the,
Hard, yeah.
it's in the minutes. It's on tape.
Recall,
I specifically made notes, and I talked about the process. And I repeated what I had written down in my notes, and I said, so
But
this is.
again, maybe
So I
it was-
said, so this is what you want me to do?
maybe it was a
And everybody said
misunderstanding
yes.
that we would love for you to come up with ideas. But I think that if you come up with ideas, great. If Killian came up with ideas, which I thought he was going to do, fantastic. If Leah came up with ideas, even better. I feel as though we all should be party to having our decisions talked about instead of having just one person select the panel. So I appreciate the amount of work, because I did it too. I understand that there is a lot of work involved in trying to rack your brain and think of who would be great to have on the board. I'd love to see a list of people that you've come up with. But even that, you're not giving us names, you're just saying you've talked to the fire chief at Goffstown, but you haven't told us who you think would be reasonable to be on that panel. So that's all I'm trying to do.
I'm not comfortable mentioning names at this time here at this public meeting, because we aren't at that point yet where I've actually said to somebody, first of all, we don't know what date, so it doesn't do me any good to ask somebody that may be on vacation that week or whatever, because they're gonna say, when is it? I have to look at my calendar. So, you know, it takes steps to do. The fire marshal has offered people from their office, but I didn't get the impression that he would like to participate, so I didn't ask. But I did meet with him. I also spent some time in the library at the fire marshal's office looking at qualifications, et cetera. So, and I spoke with the chief from Goffstown because he has participated a lot in these type of panels and done evaluations of departments, et cetera. So we talked about the processes, you know, the process and, you know, things like that. And he said he has people that could help me that are outside the area. I know the Guilford chief well. I don't know Laconia's chief. He may be a good one for us as well. But again, it's, haven't even got that far yet.
Okay, so when we get there, nobody's saying, Steve, you shouldn't do this, or don't do this, we wanna,
I'm just,
we wanna help.
okay, so I've got a lot of things going on right now.
Okay.
And so to do this by committee is gonna be very difficult. Because if we can make, somebody can make phone calls and stuff like that, and if you do it, you're gonna run into the same thing if we have
Sure.
to get together and discuss who we're gonna have and this and that.
So once the application
So,
process
My
is
goal was
closed-
people that were qualified to select a chief and have experience in selecting a chief and have served on panels, et cetera. That was my goal, and to keep any kind of bias that we can out of it.
Well, I think that's what we're looking for here, Steve, and I'll be honest, you've said in the past, you have a candidate in mind. So if you select the entire interview board, it could be seen as loading it.
I don't have a candidate in mind.
Okay, well, that's changed. I still don't think one person should select everybody on the interview board. Select them all. Hey, what do you think of these people?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm cool
Go
with
ahead.
that, but,
Okay.
okay.
So once the application's closed, we should, I feel like, do we have a meeting the next day, I think? Or is it like a week after, 2 weeks after?
No, probably
A
the
week?
next week, the next Monday, I think,
Yeah, it'd be the,
following Monday.
It's a
Closing on the-
Tuesday that it closes because the Monday's a holiday, right?
it'd be the 9th of January.
Yeah, so it'll be our meeting a week later.
And you may have to decide if you run it again.
Right, if there are no. if
Well,
there are
right,
no
but my
applicants.
thing was like, all right, so from when the application closes on, should we have more frequent meetings than once a month? Should we have like an every other week?
That's what you want.
Just to keep the, you know, kind of keep things
Discussion.
going. I think that,
Yeah, that
you
makes
know, one,
sense.
whether depend, you know, when they're pending and if we have a quorum and all that.
I think bi-weekly, every 2 weeks would be appropriate. My feeling.
I'm in.
Is this after the first of the year? Is that okay, Steve? Are you good with that?
You making a motion?
I make a motion to have Board of Firewards meeting after the beginning of the year, twice a month, till further notice.
Okay, second? Anybody second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. before we go anywhere, Naomi, what would that look like as far as using this room?
Pretty difficult.
Can we do it on the off Monday of, so we're the, the second selectmen at first and third, right?
It's gonna have to be the 4th.
So can we do it the 4th? Is that ever not?
Yeah, that should
That's-
work. Any other
Okay.
day is not gonna work.
So if we do the second and fourth
Second and
Monday?
fourth Monday, and we can do the manifest then too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, is there any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion carries. Okay, anything else under new business?
I just, a meeting just, so if you have no applicants, we don't get.
Repost it, I guess?
No, if you have no applicants as of the 3rd, do you rerun it?
Yeah.
I guess that's what you guys have to decide on the
Yeah,
night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should rerun
It's
it.
not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, yeah, no, but,
Today's
and then we
market.
could look at everything across the board and see, all right, what could we do different? You know?
Yeah, I just want you to know, January 9th, you may sit there and look at each other, so.
We won't-
That's
No,
okay,
no,
it'll be
I-
a quick meeting.
You know, that's your regular meeting, but don't think you're gonna be bombarded with 50 of them,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I ran an ad for a month, we got 2.
I understand.
Nobody wants to work with that.
All right,
Well, we'll have to visit that when
okay,
the time comes.
yep. Well, that's why I didn't want to put the cart before the horse. All right, did you get, so
Oh, yeah. These are,
the Chief Richards sent me these, wanted me to distribute them.
Thank you.
We're not taking any action, it's something that, the planning board is putting forth. Here you go,
Wasn't that the?
for town, yeah.
Did he give something else?
What's that?
No, no,
Did Chief Richards give
it was
something
just for
else?
Leah.
Yes,
I didn't even know it was in policy.
Look at these two.
Oh, it's hiding.
And this one.
and this too.
Fees.
That was, he talked about that a few meetings ago.
Oh, yeah.
So that's his proposal that, is going, is that going to the selectmen? Is that negligence proposal?
I haven't seen
The
it.
fees.
Yeah. The selectmen's.
It's kind of like an update of fees.
Okay, well, it should be shared before plunked in our lap, and I haven't seen it.
Okay, okay.
Like, don't come to the podium on your night and ask us to approve it.
Yeah, no, I thought that he,
No, I haven't seen it. Hasn't been-
well, here you go.
Oh, thank you. It took me a minute to process what you said.
Okay, under approval of minutes, I have no minutes for that yet. Still waiting on those. Next item's a manifest.
is there only one we have to sign?
Two.
Two, should be two.
Oh, yep.
It's still making its way over here.
Yep.
Come on. If I knew how to fold
Come back
pages
to it.
correctly, maybe go fast.
You know it takes me a while.
Come on.
Thank you. I don't know if you meant that.
No, I don't think we
No.
don't sign that, right?
No, that's the payroll timesheet. And so I asked Beth if we could get copies of that because, so the selectmen in the agreement that we have between the board and the selectmen is that they authorize the payroll because logistics of, we don't meet weekly. And they however they do it, they take care of that for us. And so I just thought it was good for us to keep over. For instance, I didn't know that we were authorizing a shift on Saturday and Sunday of a call firefighter for 10 hours a shift. So I just thought that if we were able to put eyes on that, then we would know more what's going on.
Great. Is this the last item on the agenda?
Pretty much.
Do we have anywhere, maybe Naomi, you know, if there's a mission statement, a set of bylaws, anything that sort of is the framework for how the Board of Fireworks is set up?
The only way I know was town meeting in '78, went to town meeting and town vote. I don't know. if
Yeah,
any-
there's no bylaws. I do have a draft bylaw, because I was trying to get some bylaws put in place last year. But we tabled it and never came back to it. And they're just modeled off of the planning board or the zoning board's bylaws. If we wanted to bring that up again, I have.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we're different in some of those other agencies in that we have under RSA 154, which is the organization of fire departments. It talks about that, the authority and the responsibility. We also have the town vote what they voted for as our marching orders. Leah did come up with that, and there was, things that we would have to probably change and stuff. I have a copy of it. I just have not had time to really go through it. We've been busy right since that time with a lot of things going on, hiring people and different things that we've had to do. So I guess in my thought is it kind of got put on the back burner. So again, somebody wants to move forward, that would be okay. I would caution against restricting us from being able to, something that's gonna box us in, so to speak, and not be able to do our jobs.
Right, and I feel like so it's important to really have a good framework
Yep.
and know exactly what our jobs are.
Well, we have the laws, and then we have the town vote. Have you seen either of those?
No, I will look up RSA 154.
Because I carry the vote right with me. I don't know if I actually have the RSA with me, but I have what the
I
town
do.
voted for.
And that was 150, oh, it's highlighting, thank you. So the highlighted parts,
That was just notes for me.
okay,
I think bylaws are a place where we could address the makeup of the board.
yep.
No,
It's in the
it's in the. vote
warrant
from the
article.
town.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says, let me see if I have it here.
I haven't seen that, so
Board organization. So that's,
And do you know which of these organizations we're organized under? A, B, C, D?
it basically.
believe it's D.
Okay.
It's D?
D, yeah.
Okay.
I only know because I was looking at it earlier.
Okay.
It says here that they just adopt RSA 154.
Thank you.
But this is the, I'll just say the makeup of the board.
I'll get my own copy.
The Firewards shall be a committee consist of 7 persons, 6 of whom shall be residents of the town of Weare, who shall be elected for staggered 3-year terms at the annual meetings on the official ballot for the town of Weare. The 7th member shall be the fire chief then in office. Of the elected members, 3 members shall be representatives of the general public, and 3 members shall be representatives of the fire department.
Okay.
So that was the makeup.
All right, so we would have to go to.
We'd have to go to
vote.
town meeting to change it. And then on top of that, by law, and I, probably in 154, that any vote that's taken on the town that changes the organization of the fire department has to take effect a year
Yep.
from the vote, so as not to disrupt
Yep.
the running of the department. So that's how it works.
Got it.
Okay. All right, has everybody seen the warrant? What's that? Make a motion to accept the fire department's accounts payable manifest for checks dated 12/15/2022 in the amount of $3,754.83. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Killian. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, is there anything else that we need to talk about tonight?
I believe we are very overdue for electing officers for the board.
Okay, we usually do that
In-
at, after town meeting in April.
Okay.
Did you have something specific in mind?
No, I was just looking over the bylaws that I had at home, and one of the pieces of information on it was that we were supposed to elect officers at the beginning of, after an election.
We generally do that in the April meeting.
Okay. Did we do that after Killian was elected? I don't think we did.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay,
I believe so.
Pretty sure that's how
Yes,
we
we
got
did.
okay.
vice chair.
I'll just double
Then I'm
check.
mistaken, we are not behind.
All right. All right, is there anything else?
That's it?
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion, second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We're adjourned.
Thank you.